New year, new me. New Year's resolution, start vaping a lot. No, I'm just joking. I really only bought this vape because I thought it looked cool. It's got like a little spiral. That's beside the point. It's been a while since I've done one of these, since I came back to this project. If you were new to this, I basically paint over this canvas as many times as I want, do whatever I want. So that's cool. Today I want to work with oils because I've only primarily worked with acrylics, and what I will be painting today is actually based on a dream I had, which is peculiar because I've not done that before, considering this series is called My Dreamy Canvas. In my dream, I was visiting a friend. She had shown me this little canvas she did for one of our friends that was gonna be like a gift, and I was really which she was gonna get and I was really captivated by it. It was quite simplistic. I think it was done in oils because it had that kind of like dreamy look. Maybe because I was in a dream, but oils also do just tend to be like dreamy. I was low-key pretty jealous. I was like, she's not really known to be a painter, you know, no shade. I told her this already. Damn, you can paint like that? And I felt a little intimidated. So I woke up and I could still see it kind of vividly in my head. Not as much as I can now, but I did try to sketch it down as fast as I could on my phone, and I'm gonna put that sketch up here.
Bye.
What it is like, it's these 4 black faces, or more like it's 2 faces and then it's mirrored. They're like completely black. It only has some like gray highlighting on the forehead, the chin, the lips, the nose, and the 2 faces up top have like this flame on their forehead. I think all their eyes were closed. It was like a little abstract. The faces were shaped the way they were. They were in an orangey yellow background. And yeah, I don't know where that imagery really came from. I think I saw one TikTok like a couple days before, or maybe the day before, of a guy painting in oils. And it was like this guy with like a flame candle head, kind of like resting on a table and melting away somehow. Like, I think that idea stuck in my head and I had that dream. But I guess I wanted to prove to myself that I am capable of something like that, because I guess my dream self thought I wasn't. Although I haven't worked much with oils. I've only worked with them once. And I will be at first doing like an acrylic layer just to lay it down really quick, because I don't have a lot of oil paints. These are like the ones my boyfriend gifted me for Christmas. And they're really small tubules. So I'm doing it in the living room because it's kind of nicer here. I've got the kitties here. But I will move to the bedroom afterward to work with the acrylic. But I will move to the bedroom. But I'm going to move to the bedroom later because my boyfriend's going to come home and I don't want the kitties inhaling all the nasty fumes. Oh my God. Well, that didn't last very long. That little one in particular is a beast. She's the one always causing trouble. I guess it's better to start out here than to like have an accident later on. Wow. Oh my God. What the fuck is going on? What I'm doing now is putting a thin layer of acrylics on it. I'm doing acrylic because I don't have that much oil paint to cover this large of an area. And it's fine to go with oils over acrylic, but you can't go over oils with acrylic. So for the future, that might be something to think about. But I do like how this came out looking like a haze. Very dreamy. Yeah, dreamy. For something that's so, I don't know, like the concept of dreams and everything, all that is so, all I can really find to describe it is just this one word, dreamy. Like, what I will now do is kind of give it a wash, a really light layer of oil paint in the yellow color that is a little bit more representative of the one in the dream. What I also did was empty this jar of tea. It was like this Korean tea. It's a kind of citrus fruit. It's really good. I actually used the rest of it to make myself a cup of tea here, but yeah, I'm storing my turpentine in it. That's kind of what you're supposed to do, because if you're washing your brushes, the oil paint just kind of falls down to the bottom and then solidifies a little bit, and you can use the leftover turpentine so it doesn't actually go to waste. Deep yellow. Almost thought that's a jaundice yellow. John Fons? Jaundice? Well, now that I think about it, jaundice, does that come from Latin or something, like yellow? Because all these yellows have like John in it. Or is that French? When working with oils, damn, that booty. That booty, that is. Okay. When working with oils, it's really important to have proper ventilation. But to be honest, my head still kind of hurt afterward. Like I felt a bit of pressure in my temples. But yeah, here I was just sketching out the drawing based on my little sketch. So just laying down some quick lines and basing the color. Time for a bit of a kitty break. My kitties, I need to introduce them. Their names are Psylocke, Mystique. Mystique is the colorful one. Psylocke's the other one. My boyfriend named them, really. He's into X-Men and kind of Marvel stuff. They love to play around. They love to meow and be annoying. But they're really cute. And they always get all the attention they want. We pamper them a lot. And we love them. But back to the painting. Right, so this portion of the video of the time-lapse is going to be a bit longer. So I'll take the chance to talk about my first time I oil painted, which was a Bob Ross tutorial. We all know Bob Ross. I was doing a naturally landscape, some mountains, a river, you know, all that good stuff. And I had been gifted some oil paints from my art teacher, actually. So that's why I actually did it in the first place, because she so generously just gave me the paints for nothing in return, really, just like to show her that I actually used them, I guess. And I was really grateful, and I used it once and never again, mainly because of a point that I will touch on later on in this video after I do the painting and reflect. But yeah, I don't actually know where all those paints went. Like, they actually cost a lot. They were really big tubes, and I wish I kept them. But yeah, I just kind of also felt guilty for not picking it up again, and she always did like a lot of stuff for me like that, and I didn't really go to my fullest potential and extent to grace in her good heart, you know what I mean? Whatever. If you're wondering what I'm listening to while painting, here's a little snippet.
Somehow she's able to stand. The last time she stood was like, what, 4 or 5 years ago?
So that's Frankie's bookshelf. He's a YouTuber I've been like watching on my commutes to work or just when I'm chilling. He comments about books. He has really funny commentary. Yeah, but the painting's about done. Oh my god, bye. Okay, I want to reflect a little on my work today. First, I want to talk about how it was oil painting for the second time. The nature of this painting was very simplistic, minimalistic, abstract, so that really helped me not worrying much about my technique. I mean, the blending was pretty basic. I'm just doing these very clay-like faces, which I find very easy to paint in any medium. You're most familiar with the face. It should be not maybe anatomically the easiest to draw. It is recognizably the easiest to draw. I think I was a little afraid at first to layer too much paint. Like, I thought I really had to go light with it. But then I just kind of started lathering on paint and just going with it, because for the paints to actually be blendable, you need to have a good layer of oil paint on it, right? You don't just want to paint like fast drying small coats of it, because, you know, that defeats the whole purpose. I did enjoy it more than acrylic. I just don't enjoy how much of a hassle it is to clean up afterwards, and I did actually feel like I was getting kind of like a headache. So I just never really liked that aspect of oils, that it feels like it's like this medium is literally like invading my body. And acrylics is just like, I even end up like lathering it on my skin just to kind of wipe my paintbrush on myself if I'm lazy. And with this paint, I feel like I'm being very tedious and trying to be very careful with it, which in turn makes me a little more mindful of my process. And I did enjoy it. I felt pretty relaxed considering all things. Yeah, but the idea itself, how it actually was executed, to further iterate how in the dream I actually saw it, now that you have like a normal portrayal of it, this is honestly like pretty faithful to what I saw, which, considering this is something I saw while being unconscious, right? I wasn't in conscious thought, and this is something my mind just conjured up, and I saw it so vividly. Even if it is like scrambled in my head, I remember the elements that were there, and I hit all of those, right? It was these 4 faces. They weren't exactly symmetrical. These 2 faces had the flames on top. These 2 didn't, for whatever reason. I remember this part here was kind of more like a corner. So they were merging together like with the corner here. And yeah, they all had like a bit of a more pronounced orange rim around them. And then the background was pretty yellow and orange all around. And no matter that the flames were actually like pretty bright, right? These like two bright spots on the foreheads, they weren't actually lining up the face that much. Like it wasn't making the face's features very pronounced. So that's why they're very like deep set in and very shaded faces, because I just really remembered them being black. What I did change a little bit was, of course, I think I added more detail to the faces, because the faces in my dream had even less detail. It was really just like some highlight on the nose, the lip, the chin, like I said. So I added just a bit more definition. I added more browns and blues because it was literally just black and gray, I remember. I actually like what I did more here than I think what I saw in the dream. Also, considering what this was before, I do like that I kept the kind of aura around it. You could still see the planet kind of in the background there, what it was before, right? Which is kind of the point of the canvas, which I was kind of thinking about, like the way I just painted it white last time I was doing this series and just painted something new on it. You know, I want to kind of bring it back into being like you leave something shining through, you know, and then you just kind of add stuff on. So I'm not sure where this one's gonna go after this. I'm gonna keep this up in our living room for a while longer. And, you know, just whenever I feel the time is right, I'm gonna come back to you and we're gonna see how this evolves, I guess. But all I'm gonna do now is take some close-up shots for you and end off the video. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you enjoy all my other content on here. Let me know what you think about it. Did I succeed? Any tips for working with oils? If you want to call me out for being dumb. Thank you for watching.